Hey my friends, I got a new project to work on. This is a friend of mine's bike. It's been sitting up for about 2 years because he hadn't been able to get it running. Said he replaced the starter on it and it's still not cranking right, and that's really all I know about it, so I'm just gonna have to try to troubleshoot. I told him I'd see what I could do to get it running, so I brought it over here and I'm gonna start working on it. This is a 2006 Kawasaki Ninja. This is a ZX-6R. You know, it's a cool bike, and so let me show it to you real quick and see what I'm looking at. So I just plugged in the charger to see if the battery is even gonna hold a charge, and right now, yeah, so it's not really charging. Yeah, so it doesn't even, it thinks it's a 6-volt battery. It's not, doesn't have any charge in it. So I guess there's really no sense in keeping that plugged in. Let me unhook that real quick. Yeah, it's totally dead. There's nothing. I'll run it down to the auto parts store and have them test it and see if it's bad battery, and I'll pick up a new one if it is. But let me show you the bike. It's been sitting around in someone's yard for a few years, like I said, so it's pretty dirty, and they have dropped the bike a few times. You could see there's some scraping. Clean off that lens a little bit. Yeah, see, it scraped up that, and there's some little scratches on the foot peg, and I see that wire is not connected there to that turn signal. Yep, and I put the pan there. It was leaking a little oil, but it's not really leaking oil. Yeah, it's not really leaking oil. They just took that, they just opened it and spilled a little bit of oil, and it got down in the fairing. And so when we went to move it, it just, it's dripping a little bit. Just has a few problems, that's all. Now this battery is a little bit difficult to remove. You got to not necessarily take off the fuel tank, but you got to remove the bolts that are holding the fuel tank on. Show you where they are. Let's see, hopefully. Right, here's one, and then there's one on the other side in the same place. And so this takes 7/16, and you remove these, and I just took the bolts off of this, as you could see, and then we'll remove this plate, lift this up, and we'll be able to pull the battery out of there. There we go. Now on this piece here, there should be a bolt that goes in here, but this one is missing the bolt. So I could just pull it. Yeah, just pull it out of here, And then now I should be able to lift this enough to get this battery out. I already removed the positive cable here. And so let's get this out of here. There we go. But there, got the battery out. It says it's only a year old. It shouldn't really be bad, but... And I am back. Got the same battery. I went to the Kawasaki dealership, and they only had the acid-filled batteries, and this cost the same amount as an acid-filled battery, and I prefer the glass matte ones. But I had them tested there and made sure that it was a good battery. So we'll pop this on and see what goes on. I should have a good connection. Not really that good little rubber boot, but there we go. Now, let's see what it does when I turn the key. You know, before I turn this key, I probably should check the oil. I know he said it doesn't start, but that would not be good to start the engine without any oil in it, and I haven't even looked to see if there's oil or not. And I don't know anything. Let me check the oil. There is no oil. And I was just at the store getting a battery. I gotta go back and get some oil. It says 10W40, 3 quarts of full synthetic racing oil. So, back to the store I go. And just so I don't have to go back to the store 15 more times, I'm going to go ahead and take these bottom fairings off and check the drain plug, make sure that that doesn't need to be replaced, and also the filter. Just might as well give it an oil change, or you know what I mean. I know I didn't have to take them all the way off, but I have no idea. Well, I don't know, because I probably will have to take them off since I don't know what's wrong with the bike. And I'll just, you know, feel better being able to see everything instead of trying to fight those fairings. So I got them off out of the way. And crawl up under here and see about that oil. Don't see any signs of leaking or anything like that, so that's good. Oil filter's on the other side. Let me go around and have a look at that. Well, that makes me feel a little better. At least there is some oil in it. This filter is higher than the bottom pan there, so if it's up to there, that's good. The oil's pretty thick, but it's there, so that's a good thing. I got the big pan. I got my oil drain pan. I'll go ahead and drain that, and I can run that used oil up to the O'Reilly's when I pick up the new oil. SF takes a 17 millimeter socket. And I can't fit the pan under there, so I do have to use this little dish. I got this here, and I don't know, see what we can do. Be good to get another drain bolt, or at least a gasket for them. This one's pretty rotted. It's falling apart. All right. Now I'll just let that finish while I run up there, and it can drain, so it'll get all the oil out of it, and we'll be back in a little while. He asked if I wanted a Wix filter or the K&N, and I just went ahead and got the Wix 51358, and then I didn't even think about after I got back, I thought, that had the little bolt on the back of it to tighten and loosen it, and this Wix filter doesn't. But that's okay, I got an oil filter wrench anyway. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that works. So let me see here. Oil, 10W40. That's what it called for. Now, since this oil filter is sideways, I'm not gonna put a lot of it in there, but I always like to put a little bit, prime the filter before putting it on there, and also lubricate that gasket a little bit. Yeah, already tipping out. Don't want to make it too tight, but don't want to make it too loose either. That's good. Now, add some oil, and finally we'll be able to try to crank it, see what it does with the new battery, and see what's going on. So it calls for 3.5 quarts. I got 4. Now I know it's not gonna run. It wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have it if it was running. So, but I always think that it might, for some reason, magically crank. And let's see what's gonna go on. Let's see. Yep, it's in. Says it's in neutral. Sounds like the starter's not engaging. Starter's turning, but it's not extending. That's what it sounds like. Cool. It did something. So let's see what that starter looks like. There, right there is the starter. And so it's in a pretty tough little spot there. And as I'm looking up here, looks like that's probably the way to get to it is to remove the tank. And since I already took the bolts out, it shouldn't be too big of a deal. There, maybe from this angle you'll see, if I lift up the tank, you might be able to see what's under there. I can't see. Okay, yeah, so there, and this is the little clip, these little red tabs. I'm just supposed to pop that out and it should release that, and hopefully it won't spill too much fuel in the process. This is just a breather tube. This doesn't go anywhere. Well, it looks like it'd be best if I got around to the other side to do this and also grab some rags. Okay, so it looks like this. This wire is what hooks under the fuel tank, so I should remove this. Yeah, stick a little screwdriver in there to release that tab. Okay, so I've never actually, I just unhooked the battery, the negative, and unhooked this pigtail there. I've never done this before. I don't know what's gonna happen. I sure hope that fuel don't come pouring out of this. Can you see? I hope so. All right, that wasn't too bad. I just splashed a little bit, but not a big deal. Okay, so this is the clip, and I just pushed in these and it just came right out. It just popped out here like that, and then I just pulled it out. It was really simple. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this reservoir. Yep, and there's the starter right there. Yep, that's what it is. I can feel the starter. And I'll need a long extension. And that looks like about an 8mm. There, maybe I got you at a place where you could see a little bit. So, you gotta remove these two. The starter is a magnet. It's like pulling my wrench to it. There we go. Yeah. So I'll just take these two off, and hopefully the starter will come right out of here. Does that look bent to you? I don't know if I get like this angle, but then it seems to me if I get a straight down overview, maybe that. I know, I left you last night with me trying to take the bolts out of the starter and come back today, and I've already got bike torn apart and oil everywhere. But I just wanted to see. Let me show you what I got. So since they said that oil came out of here before when they loosened that, I knew to expect it, so I put this pan down and I just cracked the cover. It started dripping. I was like, so I just pushed it back in place and went and got this because I needed something clean to hold the oil. When I look at this, when I first opened it up and saw it, to me it looked like that gear was jammed up. As I turn it and everything, I mean, you know, like slide it like this, I see that it's not stuck, because I was like, oh, they're just ground together. But this one moves like this. Let me see. Yeah, I can't turn it because the starter is not turning. You know, it's not something that spins freely. I don't want to damage this wheel by pushing at this, and I just can't figure out how to get it out of there. I tried trying to find, not with that one, to find a place like back behind here where I could kind of try to get, but there's really no place to grip it to get that out of there without, you know, damaging something that I don't want to tear up. And not supposed to tap on starters, hit them or hammer on them. It's not good for the starter because there's a magnet in it and it messes it up. But I feel like I need to hit it to get it out of there. I feel like I need to get a hammer and bang on it and it'll knock it out of there. But then it says don't. And then what if this, and I don't want to, if the starters, he said it was, they replaced the starter, so that should be a new starter. And I don't know what's going on, why it's not working. And so the way I do it is take the starter out, hook it up to a battery and see if it comes on. That way I can see what's going on. And I can't run it right now with this open like this. I don't know, I might be able to, but I don't. I don't. Hey, you know what I should do? I should turn the key and see what happens. You want me to do it? I will. Watch this. Well, that wasn't very exciting, was it? And for you who noticed, I did put the bolts back in before I cranked it. That starter is bolted down. Don't worry about it. I don't know what I thought was going to happen. I know, I changed my clothes. It's the next day. But, yeah, I didn't know what would happen if I turned that on with it open like that. I didn't know if oil's going to spray out or something, but I shouldn't have been worried about it. It wasn't anything, that low gear. It just, you know, it's not really meant to run without that. It's okay that it fell out. That's just no big deal. But before I go tearing that open, there's one thing. I don't think that it's the, what's it called? The tip over switch. This piece. No, wait. I do think that this is keeping the bike from cranking. See, it was hooked right here. And this is supposed to be bolted right here. There's it says up, and there's an arrow pointing up. And so that should be bolted in just like that. When I got the bike, I took off the seat, and when I went to change the battery, I could see that this was not hooked up. It's still facing upright, but I don't know if these are grounds or not, so it might have to be there. So I just was looking at it, and I noticed that there's a crack in it right here. See? And so, and in the service manual, it specifically states, do not drop this. It could damage it. Well, it's got me thinking. So what I did is I unplugged it, and it was kind of, see how it's kind of open like that? Well, that was kind of weird, as well as the crack. And so I opened it with a screwdriver. It's empty. There's nothing inside. There's supposed to be a little weight. It hangs right here, and it rocks back and forth. It's kind of shaped like Pac-Man. And so when you tip it, it goes up like that. And that's what sends a signal to the sensor. So it's not going to work if there's nothing inside. So definitely this is bad. It's missing its innards. For all I know, that could be causing the problem. So I went online and watched videos of people who had this missing, and the bike cranked, but then it cut off. They would crank it and it would cut right off. This doesn't even crank. So that's what leads me to think that maybe it's not just this. Maybe this is part of the problem, but it's not the main problem. But I can't rightly tear apart the clutch when it's not the clutch, when it's only this. You see what I'm saying? Not the clutch, the starter clutch. And so that's where I'm at. This video's getting a little long, and I thought it'd be cool to make a video that was the whole complete from front to end. But that's it for this episode, and I will be back in a few days. I gotta order one of these, and we'll see what we'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.